Hi, this is Rob Polenick of C3 Method. I did a back workout today. It was a little bit of an odd structure, so I thought it'd be fun to share what I did. The oddity of the structure is typically I'm set up in my current routine to do a pull day, which would be rear delts, back, and biceps. However, something that's been new is I'm running the online personal training for a gym here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I started visiting the gym on Wednesdays, and they have a ton of equipment, just insane amount of equipment, and I absolutely love the variety that they have. So what's been fun is there's a couple pieces of equipment that they have that I don't have here in my home gym, and a notable one is a chest-supported row. Now I can do chest-supported rows here at home if I set up with our Sorinex Seal row pad, and I can do dumbbells there. I can also do a barbell variation, but essentially the difference is a barbell is non-converging, meaning as I'm pulling up and back, my hands are staying the same. If I'm doing dumbbells, in a sense, you can do like convergence where your hands are going to be narrow at the bottom and wider at the top. However, with the force against gravity and the way in which you lay into the pad, it makes it to where the mid-range of the motion is kind of the best stimulus. And then as you get into a deeper squeeze, it's such a weak position that you're almost limited in the total weight that you can use if you want to make sure you get the squeeze, or if you use a heavy enough weight to maximize kind of that mid-range, you're not going to get that deep squeeze. So it's definitely something I can do, and it is something I use on a pretty regular basis, but it's different than a machine chest-supported row. This is the fun little weird nuancy things that I geek out about. It's arguably unnecessary, and it's not even that hard of an argument, it's unnecessary. But I like it, and they have one of my favorite machines, which is a hammer strength low row, and you start with your hands very close together lower. You have a chest support, and then as you pull up, your hands go kind of like an arc up and wider, and it just hits this middle weird dead spot in my back that I have a really hard time growing, even with cable seated rows and all the variations of back exercises I can do here at home. It just doesn't feel the same. So I like to do that machine. Now, the other aspect is I want to train legs when I'm at Fitness Factory, which is the name of the gym up in Charlotte, because they have a ton of leg equipment. They have a leg extension, which I really like to be able to do to work the right quadricep, which was related to multiple tears I had way long ago, like 15 years ago or so. Actually, at this point, probably 20 years ago. Due to that tear, the right leg on the outer sweep of the quad is not quite as dominant as my left. So I really like doing leg extensions. When we were setting up our home gym here, I have leg press, I have a hack squat, a lying leg curl, and then the other two pieces we have were things that I definitely could use and benefit from, but I also made sure that my wife could use and benefit from as well. So it's a Nautilus glute drive, which is like a hip thrust machine, and then a Rogers Squat Pro, which we use for her for reverse lunges and for upright squats. Since she has really long femurs, we can set up in that machine with heels elevated in a certain wedging position to where it really helps her grow her quad sweep. With that selection, we kind of ran out of room, and we didn't have space for a leg extension. Now, a leg extension is an isolative movement, and I know that lying hamstring curls is isolative. I know the hip thrust is, you could argue, is isolative to the glutes. But we had quad selections with the leg press, with the hack squat, with the Rogers Squat Pro. It was unnecessary to forego a hamstring isolation or a glute isolation for a quad isolation. So it just made sense when we're creating a gym that would be for both of our purposes that the leg extension didn't make the cut. Now, since I have the ability to go to Fitness Factory on Wednesdays, I want to train my legs, and I want to do the things I can't do at home. Leg extensions is one of them. Machine adductors is another one, because I don't have that here at home. And then they have some really cool stuff, like they have a MedX Avenger leg press, which is a badass, awesome, really cool leg press, and I like to use that. They have a pendulum squat, which I don't have here at home. That's from Arsenal Strength, and I love to use that. So I really want to create a leg day there. And then at the end of the leg day, I do the hammer strength low row for my back. With all of that said, which was a lot to say, I do my back the day before, which would be today, and I do the workout knowing I'm going to be adding working sets tomorrow to my back. The modification I then make in my pull day is I drop biceps off, so I don't do biceps on Tuesdays, because I don't want to then go the very next day and try to do a very heavy row with my biceps pre-fatigued. I would run the risk of an injury or just not optimizing that back exercise because my biceps would be weak and it would limit the weight that I can move. So I dropped the biceps off. So I start the workout with rear delts, and today I did cable reverse flies, and I usually do around 4 sets. I'll do typically 2 high rep sets and 2 heavier sets, or like what I did today, I just do all 4 high rep sets and get a good isolation, good burn. And the benefit of that is on Monday, I do middle delts as part of my push day, and I did 2 raise variations, which would have incorporated the rear delt to some degree, even though they were middle delt focused. So my shoulders are actually already fatigued coming in on pull day from push day, so I don't need a ton of volume, so usually the 4 sets is enough to kind of aggravate everything and get it pumped up and get it feeling good. I then go into a lat pull down, and right now I'm doing kneeling lat pull downs with a very narrow grip, and I find that that's really helping hit the mid lat up into my armpit, and it's creating a nice like kind of width feel to my back. I'm really connecting well with that movement at the moment. I do a nice slow pace, a good pause at the bottom. It even works my core. You'll see me shaking under some of the heavier weights. But I really like that stimulus at the moment. So I'll do 4 sets of that, and I typically do sets of 10 to 14, and maybe on the last 1 or 2 sets I might add a couple like kind of burnout reps where I don't do the pause. And then I did cable seated rows today, but sometimes I'll do a T-bar row. But basically I'll do some type of row after the rear delt, after the pull down, I'll go into a row. So today I did the narrow grip, a low angle for the cable seated rows. And that's going to, in a sense, pre-fatigue and work the similar muscles as to what I'll be doing tomorrow. So I am knowingly and purposefully kind of carrying my back work from today into tomorrow. And then I'll have 2 full days off basically after that, away from my back. And that creates a really cool stimulus, and it allows me to incorporate that other exercise, that hammer strength low row, into a back training kind of workout per week. And then if I do back again on, say, Saturday or Sunday, I don't have the access to that other machine, so I'll just do the variations here at home and maybe add a second type of row. And that would be when I do the chest supported rows with either dumbbells or a barbell or something like that. So that was a lot of words, a lot of talking, but that is how I structured my workout today. So you'll see it's a little bit of a lower volume than I typically would do. It's only 12 working sets, but it's a really good selection of movements. I'm building off of the fatigue of yesterday for my shoulders today, and I'm building off of today into tomorrow with the entirety of what my back volume will be. So it's a really weird setup, but I like it because it allows me to do a bunch of movements I really enjoy, and I feel connected with everything, and it even shortens the workout I would need to do today so I can get more work in, and then that allows me to free up more time to go to the other gym tomorrow. So really weird nuances. Just thought it'd be fun to share the thought process behind creating the workout in this way. Awesome. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. If you want to try the workout, you can follow along with what's written there. And I hope that if you do try it out, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it a beneficial and fun workout. If you need anything, just let me know. And thank you for watching.